about a built-in function in JavaScript called map, which will look like this. So what does a map function do? Let's say we have an array, var sum array. Let's just do a basic array of 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to perform a function on each item in this array and then return a final array. So how can we access each of these elements individually, perform a function, and return the result? We could use a for loop. For example, we could say for var I equals 0 and I is less than sum array dot length. Okay. This looks weird. Let me clean that up. We're returning a new array. We have final array, and we're pushing values onto that array of sum array I, which because of the loop is going to be 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4, and each of those values we're going to add 2. And then if we print this out, I'm just going to use jQuery here to write to my DOM. I think it's called result text. And let's print out final array. Okay. Let me refresh over here and we can see it added on. Actually, JavaScript has a very easy way of doing this in a built-in function. So let's take this same example and we're going to take sum array and we're going to use the .map function on it. Now .map takes a function as the parameter here and a value as the parameter in that function. Now this value can be named anything. You can call it item, you can call it X, it doesn't matter. It's just pretty standard. I usually see people use value or val here. It takes a value because of the map function. It's going to pass it each element in the array it's performing the function on, which is sum array. So let's return value and we want to perform the operation of adding 2. So we'll set that equal to final array, and let's actually use a different value here so the result is different than last time. So +3, and we can see the result of the built-in function. We didn't have to write all this code, it's just built into JavaScript to use the map function, and it iterates through each element of the array. So each item will be equal to value, and then each item, so first it would be 1, so 1 plus 3 is 4, obviously, and then when map passes in the second value, it'll be 2, and so on and so on and so on. So this is an anonymous function. We can also have a named function. Okay, so let's call this function do something. So we can pass in our own function that we wrote called do something to map. So let me change this to show that it's different here. Output. So we just pass in a function name and it'll perform the desired operation. We could also do this for a built-in function in JavaScript, such as we could pass in, let's say, the math object. If we wanted to take the square root of each element, let's say we want to take the square root of each element in this array. Let me make these a little bit cleaner, just if we're going to be doing square roots. Let's say 4, this could be 9, and let's do 16, just so we don't have a lot of decimals over here. And there we go. Takes the square root for us. Only one easy line of code will iterate through each item and perform our desired operation. We can also do this for objects too. So let's say we have an object. Let me just type up an object real quick. Oops. So we have our array of objects, and let's say we want to extract the ages from this array, and we just want all these ages in an array instead of inside of these objects here. We can also write a function for this. Let's say function, give it our val again, and we're going to create a temporary variable here which we will push values to. So now when we iterate through the array, the first value will be this whole object. So to get the number 27, we have to reference the key, which is age. Let's say temp.push. We're going to do val.age, because remember val is set equal to the object for every item of this array. So val.age will give us 27. Let's push that, and then we're going to return temp here. Okay. So then temp will be set to final array, which will have these three values in it. So let me save this. Let me refresh, and just as we expected, it has 27, 22, and 40. So you can do lots of different things like this with objects. I think one of the most powerful things about using the map function is actually stacking it with other functions, which I'm not going to go too into detail on this video, but let's say you only want numbers under 30. You can stack it with other built-in functions like the filter function, which I know this is getting a little long. This is where you would want to pass in your own function and just clean this up a little bit. But let's call this something different. Let's say X. I'm going to do a video on the filter function later, but just to show you kind of how stacking works, let's return when X is greater than, or no, we want when X is less than 30, right? And here we go. So we just filtered through the values that were returned here, and now our array only has the ones less than 30. So this is really convenient, can save you a lot of time and a lot of code, and it's very easy to read in my opinion. So I'll do some more videos about all the different cool built-in functions JavaScript has, and also more about stacking functions in the future.